Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. It is 7:25 in the morning, which is about 6 hours and 35 minutes before I upload this video for you guys. It's an early one. I've got the sun coming in from this way. We've changed the location, which is basically, I normally film with the pool behind me. Today, we got these nice little double windows going on behind me. We've got some Chelsea FC news. Of course, today is match day, and you guys are wondering why this is not the Chelsea FC versus Crystal Palace match preview. It's coming, all right? You've got to stay tuned. GBFC, it's a bit different this year. And when I say a bit different, it's nothing bad. People don't often like change. It's just more content. You know, I realise that I spend a lot of time making videos, but also nowhere near enough time. And I've got a lot of it, so I might as well make you guys more. So if you're happy about that, make sure you subscribe. And if you could, hit the like button on today's video. We've got some interesting stories to talk about today. We're going to talk about some Chelsea strikers, but of course, we're also going to talk about Romelu Lukaku. Even though it's pretty much all I've spoken about every single day this week, there's been some further updates, and I think it's really good when we get a new signing of this kind of calibre that we go into all of the different opinions that are coming in, be it the quotes from Lukaku himself, quotes from members of the Chelsea hierarchy. But today, we're going to focus on the comments that were made by his agent after, of course, with any move of this kind of stature, calibre, we'll use that word again, there's always going to be questions about certain motives of the player. Maybe it was pushing from the agent. With Lukaku, I think anybody with a sane kind of mind can be quite sure that there is a lot more to this deal that would have motivated Romelu Lukaku as opposed to just the very high wages that Chelsea have offered him. If we talk about those wages for a moment, it is reportedly between £325,000 and £450,000 per week, which of course is an astronomical sum of money. But with Lukaku, we've always known it's been about finishing the story. The Chelsea book that Romelu Lukaku is writing within his footballing career, it will end up being a novel within itself. When he joined Chelsea, it was his dream. There is a video of Romelu Lukaku walking into Stamford Bridge when he was 16 years old, and you can see the glimmer in his eyes. You can listen to what he says and know that it's not about the money. It's about the affinity that Romelu Lukaku feels towards Chelsea Football Club. And we're going to go through now a couple of the comments that were made by his agent regarding this. The last few weeks have been very busy and intense. Well, I bet it bloody was. I would have liked to express myself earlier, but I preferred to wait until Romelu's transfer to Chelsea was done. I like this about an agent. Too many agents in football want to start doing this before there's anything concrete, and it ends up putting clubs off spending money. Now, with a cool mind, I can share my thoughts on the event, especially with reference to the excessive news, insinuations and comments, often inappropriate, of the last days. First of all, I would like to clarify that I have always accepted and will continue to do so confrontation and constructive criticism. They are part of the game for those who play a role with considerable media relevance. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but we move. What we absolutely cannot tolerate are the falsehoods, insinuations, insults and threats we have received, also against my family and my daughters, which have far exceeded the limits of civilization, decency and tolerance. Having said that, I want to point out without hesitation that for almost 25 years, I've carried out my profession for three main reasons in strict order of priority. The passion and love for what I consider the most beautiful profession in the world, the sports agent. My ambition to compete with the best professionals in my field worldwide. The possibility of combining passion, love and ambition with business, which I consider a real privilege. I think this is a really, really respectful message coming from Romelu Lukaku's agent. We move into talking about, well, I'm not going to actually read the whole thing out because I've just realised I spent a lot of time reading out the last segment, but I'm going to put it up on the screen for you guys to read in various different chunks and summarise it as best as I possibly can. There's been a lot of discontent from Inter Milan fans about Romelu Lukaku leaving. Romelu Lukaku would have loved to have left Inter Milan with a lot more grace. However, Inter Milan fans are rightly so very upset right now with the situation. What was this geezer at 7 in the morning? Very upset with the situation at their club right now. They're champions of Italy. They lost probably the best manager they're going to have in quite some time in Antonio Conte. We all know how good this man is. And then there's also an exodus of players. Hakimi's leaving. Lukaku's leaving after Inter Milan considered him untouchable. This wasn't just a worded quote used from Fabrizio Romano, one of the best journalists in the world. Inter Milan were very vocal in the fact that although they knew a financial situation was certainly on the cards in terms of having to offload players, Lukaku was one of the ones that they said wasn't going to leave. Within this quote from Romelu Lukaku's agent, it's very clear that this move for Lukaku is simply about seeing a challenge that totally fits in with the growth of the player that we are speaking about. And not just as a footballer, but as a man. When Romelu Lukaku was growing up, we've seen the video in the Players' Tribunal when he's talking about the last conversation he had with his granddad, talking about how he was very, very insistent, his granddad, that Romelu Lukaku's mission in life was to look after his daughter, Romelu's mother. And I think that this chapter in Romelu Lukaku's footballing story is the one he's been craving for such a long time. We've already spoken this week about when Lukaku went to Manchester United. There were talks and rumours that Lukaku was disappointed that he didn't end up going to Chelsea, which is why he got rid of Mino Raiola. That is obviously only speculation. It does make a lot of sense. As soon as Chelsea came knocking on the door this summer, despite Lukaku's persistence on saying that, yeah, I'm going to stay at Inter Milan, I love my time here. He's obviously got a mural across the walls. He's the top scorer, player of the season in Serie A. There was more than enough reason for Romelu Lukaku to stay at Inter Milan. Chelsea, it's a different prospect. It's not just about money. It's not just about being European champions. It is about a decision made by Romelu Lukaku as a man, as a footballer, to enable him to fulfill the ambition and dreams that he's always had. And the ability and opportunity to play at Chelsea was something that was clearly too big to turn down. So I actually really like the way this has been dealt with by both Lukaku, the way that Chelsea, Granovskaya, Thomas Tuchel as well spoke about it in his press conference. A lot of the focus isn't about the goal scorer that we've signed, it's about the man that we've signed. And if we segue it in to the comments that were made by Thomas Tuchel himself in a video that was posted yesterday on Chelsea TV, the Chelsea YouTube channel, Romelu Lukaku is the man who not only tactically fits what Thomas Tuchel wants from his Chelsea team, but he's also a character and a leader that immediately inject a new level to what Chelsea have in this squad. We know it's an incredibly young squad, but at the same time, Thomas Tuchel says it himself, he brings that leadership which alleviates a lot of the pressure. Not just on the forwards that he mentioned, Timo Werner, Christian Pulisic, Kai Havertz, but also the other leaders in the team who Chelsea rely on, who, as much as we love Azpilicueta, Jorginho, there has at times been questions about the intensity of that leadership. I think Azpilicueta is an incredible captain, and Jorginho is an absolutely perfect vice captain to call upon, and N'Golo Kante when we need him to come out on the pitch with the armband too. But having a big presence kind of guy, Romelu Lukaku is a big man, he's a beast, he's a tank. This is going to absolutely bode well in Chelsea's favour for leadership on the field. We now have it in every single position. Mendy's vocal, Azpi's the captain, we've got Thiago Silva in there, Jorginho, Kante in the middle, now Lukaku as the striker. I think it's a perfect combination for Chelsea for an absolute multitude of different reasons, but we move into the next story of the day, and it is regarding Michy Batshuayi. You guys know my affinity to Michy is strong because I got a tattoo when I was in Madrid, made a stupid comment, he scored the winning goal, the rest is history, inked on my arm forever. Michy Batshuayi has pretty much confirmed that he will be moving to Besiktas, which is a move that might be permanent, I'm not entirely sure at this moment in time, but basically Nkudu called up Michy Batshuayi, Batshuayi put it on his story, Nkudu was like, should I call Michy? Michy puts it on his story, the image is on the screen now. I think it pretty much confirms that Batshuayi, as the cat, is about to make an appearance. I think, Zola, you want to come in, mate? Here is his tail for you. That's all he wants, apparently. He's smelling the mosquito spray now. Batshuayi wants to leave Chelsea. He knows that this time's not going to come. They've just signed his Belgian counterpart, Romelu Lukaku, for a club record fee. And I wish Michy Batshuayi absolutely all the best for the future. He's provided some incredible moments at Chelsea. Even though he's not been there all the time, or he's been on loan here, or he wasn't a regular starter, the West Brom goal to win us the league, in Ajax away, I was there. Madrid away, I was there. Incredible moments that I will cherish for the rest of my life, and Michy Batshuayi provided the fuel for that ignition fire. We move into talking about Tammy Abraham. And at this moment in time, Tammy is still a Chelsea player. Thomas Tuchel announced in his press conference that Tammy will be in the squad for the match against Crystal Palace tomorrow. And after 120 minutes of football for some of our players the other night, who knows? Tammy might actually get his first start of the season, maybe also his last. Thomas Tuchel alluded to the fact that players are going to leave Chelsea. We're not going to be able to keep this squad the same size with the same people forever. And Tammy Abraham could well be one of those ones who is leaving. Tammy's asked for a bit more time to make the decision about moving to Roma. We will see how that one unfolds over the course of the next few days. And the final story that I want to talk about today is kind of like a little comedy one. I could clickbait it. I don't know if I will or not yet really, but it's not clickbait because it's actually legit. Thomas Tuchel was asked in his press conference about Erling Haaland, and he joked saying that Chelsea wanted both Haaland, Lewandowski and Romelu Lukaku, but the board wouldn't sanction it. And I love this about Thomas Tuchel. He can play up to the media. I've said it before, the words that he uses and the way that he conducts himself in interviews is so interesting to watch because he doesn't always just give the basic diplomacy. He's not always that diplomatic manager where you can just know the wording. You just know the way he's going to answer it. He loves to joke around, and I think that this kind of nature for a Chelsea manager, especially after already having half a season, of course it was a bit different to most managers' first half of the season as a Chelsea manager, but I like how comfortable he seems. You know, he's really bought into the English media. The English media have bought into him. He's always very upbeat and positive, and I hope this continues. You know, I don't want to foreshadow or think about anything with this changing from Thomas Tuchel. His attitude is fantastic, but to finish it off, there is a rumour, or there is a report that Peter Zahavi, Robert Lewandowski's agent, offered Chelsea Lewandowski this summer, and it would have cost 80 million euros, which is about 70 million pounds or thereabouts. For 27.8 million more, we got another prime elite striker who has still got 5 years left at the top of the game. So with that being said, Chelsea got their man. They got the right man, and it could have been Haaland, Lewandowski, Lukaku if Thomas Tuchel would have had his jokey way. But anyway, this has been your Chelsea FC news update for the day. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit the like button and stay tuned to GBFC. If you want to hit the bell notification icon next to the subscribe button, it will let you guys know about a brand new video so that you don't have to keep coming and checking YouTube. It will send a ping to your phone so that you guys know the Crystal Palace preview is live here on the channel. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the game this afternoon. Come on, you Blues.